Great, so James, let's start with you. This is your breakout role on the big screen, but you've been acting for many years. Tell me a little bit about the transition from going from stage to the big screen.
Well, I had to learn about the kind of relationship that you had with the camera and how you don't need to overact, because the camera doesn't lie. Like, it picks up everything and anything, so you don't have to kind of physically manifest an emotion in your face. It's all about the internal. Read the script over and over and over, and it's a weird thing, because it's not something I'll talk about often, and I can't quite verbalise what it is that I did, but in a way I don't quite want to reveal how the car works, just as long as it goes.
Mysterious and aloof.
Keeping it.
From the moment I read the script, I wanted to be part of it. It's a fantastic story, written by Dave Michaud. And as far as researching the role, I read books and a lot of the crime that has gone on, the media follow pretty closely, and it's all pretty accessible as far as the stories and backstories of the families and whatever. But I certainly didn't go out and take drugs and
Kill people.
Yeah, kill people.
Just checking.
Yeah, couldn't really do research with that one.
I see. Now, there's such an incredible multi-talented cast here, different levels of experience. What was it like on set? How was it working with each other?
It was a lot of fun. All the boys together.
Boys together.
Yeah.
Poor old Jackie.
Yeah.
Poor old James.
No.
He's left out.
Shut up. No, Jackie, not poor old Jackie. Jackie, she's the boss. She was mama. Yeah, we did whatever she told us to do. But we had, I never had brothers growing up, and I've known a few of these boys for years, and it was a lot of fun going to work.
And what have you both got coming up for your next projects?
Just I think both at the moment we're having really good meetings and auditioning for stuff. Sully's going to stay here for an indefinite period of time, and I'm going back home on Saturday. Don't know when our next might come out, but we're both just riding the wave.
David Michaud, who wrote the screenplay and directed the film, he had a very clear vision of how he wanted her to be. He said he wrote the role especially for me, and I didn't even know him, and he sent me the script quite a while ago. But the script was so good and so detailed, great dialogue, great storyline. I knew I wanted to play it, and he specifically wanted the audience to discover gradually just the extent of this woman's nature.
I think out of all the characters in the film, she's perhaps the one that I understood the least. Is that what you wanted?
Well, she's it's a fact that people like that with sociopathic tendencies are very good at hiding their true nature. I think she's gotten away with being falsely sweet all her life, and that's where a lot of her power comes from. I don't think it rings untrue at all. I think there are people around like that. I mean, some of the worst serial killers apparently are very charming, and a lot of criminals are very charming people, and that helps their wicked ways. That helps them get away with a lot more if they seem sweet. And that was David's idea. If we just played her as a villain right from the start, I don't think it would have been nearly as interesting as seeing her develop. The temptation is to jump in and make her wicked from the beginning, but that's a measure of David's good storytelling, that he wouldn't let me do that, and he was right. And that the relationship with all the boys, it's kind of inappropriate, and it speaks volumes, that small gestures of intimacy between them. It just shows the power she has over them, and how they're a little off kilter in what's socially appropriate.
I think it was just, it was kind of a mixture of my experience. I moved to Melbourne from Sydney when I was 18, and was discovering these new neighbourhoods and streets, and there's a kind of a strange, almost gothic noirish quality to Melbourne in a way, and my experiences of those neighbourhoods when I first moved there, kind of compelled me very soon after I finished film school, to start just writing what I hoped would turn into a big, bad, dangerous Melbourne crime story.
Now you've got a really multi-talented cast in this, different levels of experience as well. So how did you direct them in their roles?
Well, I think the challenge for any director, is to take that opportunity where you can, and hopefully in rehearsal to work out how all of your different actors like to work, what their natural, their natural working methods are, and for me it's challenging, but I enjoy it. I love working with actors. It can be a little bit intimidating at first because they're usually so much more experienced than you are as a director, but they want to do good work, and they want to. They want to be directed, because then they can let themselves go, and so all of these people had different ways of working. I felt lucky that in James Freshville, the 17-year-old kid who's, almost at the centre of the movie was, he was just so naturally talented that I didn't need to treat him with kid gloves. I didn't have to micromanage him. I could just chuck him in there with Guy Pearce and watch him splutter, but then swim well.
Was there any particular scene that you found to be of significant challenge, or what was the hardest scene for you to direct in that? Or to write even?
I think, certainly to direct, there's a couple of days there when we were shooting where, and this is the groove you get into when you're shooting, the film set moves at such a kind of anxiety-inducing speed, that from the very first shot of the day, you can feel the clock ticking. And there's a couple of days early on where I found myself at the end of the day with half an hour to do a scene that I thought I was going to have 4 hours to do, and you quickly get used to rethinking the way you're going to do it. And it was always challenging, but I actually found myself almost enjoying that challenge. It's fun. Shoots are horrible. You're so anxious and living on adrenaline. They're horrible, and the second they're over, you miss them. You wish it was still going, and it's fun. I kind of can't wait to do it again. I could not have asked for the reception to be any better, and it's kind of weird. I had always hoped that, on the basic level, I just hoped that the film wouldn't suck, but I hoped that it would be good, and I hoped that it would somehow manage to stick its head above the crowd. But I never anticipated that it would be as kind of exhilarating as it's been. That first day at Sundance was it was our first proper audience, an audience of strangers, an audience of American strangers, and it was exhilarating. You could just feel this buzz building almost immediately, and it's been fun. I feel like I've been riding that wave ever since.